Learning how to play the guitar is an exciting experience, but it can be overwhelming. With a vast number of resources available, like books and YouTube videos, it can be tough to know exactly where to begin. Now, I've spent years teaching myself how to play, and today I'll show you the first three guitar chords that I believe every beginner needs to master. They're so easy and they open so many doors, you'll be playing songs in a matter of minutes. So I did the hard work for you. And it wasn't until I understood that in music theory, every key is made up of three major chords and three minor chords. Once I understood this simple concept, I was able to focus strictly on major chords and was immediately able to start making music. I hope to do the same for you. Now, before we dive into these chords, there are a few things that I want to point out about the structure of the guitar. So the guitar consists of these open strings, and most of the time we use standard tuning, which is from the low E string to the high E string, it will be E, A, D, G, B, and E. If you don't know how to tune your guitar, you don't have a tuner, you can always install an app on your phone, like Guitar Tuner, that's what I use, to tune into that tuning. The next thing I want to point out is the fretboard. So you have these squares and they are counted in sequential order. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Since today we're focusing in the key of G major, I'm going to use the low E string to find my G note, which I know is on the 3rd fret. And what I love about this system is all the notes that are major in the key of G are on the same fret, the 3rd fret. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take your pinky, navigate to the high E string, that's the one furthest away from you, and slide it down to the 3rd fret. That's going to be a G note. Next, I want you to take your ring finger and put it on the string next to it, the B string, same fret. That's going to be a D note. The power of the way that I play this is that I use these two notes as my anchor points. So it's easy. I'm only moving one finger at a time. So if I stretch my middle finger all the way over to the low E string, 3rd fret, that is my G note. I rest my middle finger on top of the A string so that it doesn't play. And then I strum all 6 notes. And that's my G chord. If I want to move to a C, which is the 4th chord in the G major scale, all I do is I lift my middle finger and I place it on the 3rd fret of the A string. Now, what you can do is you can either use the tip of your finger to mute the low E string, or I like to wrap my thumb around and actually mute it. But you want to play from the A string down. That's your C chord. And then finally, there is a D chord, which is the 5th chord in the key of G. If I lift my middle finger from the A string and I move it down to the high E string on the 2nd fret, and then I take my index finger and I move it up to the G string, which is the 3rd string furthest away from you, and put it on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then I lift my pinky up from the 3rd fret of the high E string, and I play all the notes from the A string to the high E string. That's going to be my D chord. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you basically can leave your pinky down and then move your index finger to the 2nd fret of the G, and that's a D chord as well. The reason why I like playing these chords in this way is because it produces speed. So when I started playing in my band, I needed to be able to play different songs at different tempos. I needed to be able to play fast. I needed to be able to play slow. And you could do that with this. So let's go back to our G. I'm going to move to C. I can move to D. Back to C. This is powerful. Now, in future videos, I will show you the power of this because you keep these two fingers free, but you need to stay tuned in the upcoming weeks for those. So are you ready to put these chords into use? What I've done for you is I've created free G major backing tracks that you can practice along with right now. You can click the video on the screen or follow the link in the description and start jamming today. Also, don't forget to download my guide for beginner guitarists. The link is in the description below, and I'll see you next time with different ways that we can expand what we learned today.